Heck yeah. Bringing on the red, white, and blue.
Okay, yeah, we are live. So you've introed
Oh,
the show yet
nice,
again
nice.
with
See,
a nice little
you
song.
do that all the. See, you set me up all the time. You're like, oh, what's that? And then I start going into it, and you click the live button when I'm not looking, dude.
I would
You set
never
me
do
up
that.
all the time, dude. All the
No,
time.
here's what I'm doing. I'm over here like this. I'm like, that's what I'm doing. Bam, America. Hey everybody, welcome to Blessed Leaf Live. It's good to have you with us. And someone's calling Chris, telling him. I guess talking to him about his beard. Whatever you got going on over there, dude, is a complete train wreck. But anyway.
Dude, it is. It's a train wreck. But you know what? It was just all over the place. I was out in the fields, have one of the horses I was doctoring, and it just started going crazy. And I'm like, oh, man, I don't have enough time to get in there and totally get my groom on. Let me just weave it together real quick.
Yeah, nicely done. So it's good to have everybody with us here tonight on the show. Hope everyone had a great Independence Day celebration, good long weekend and everything. I know we sure did. And it was America, all kinds. So that was pretty tight. And
It is.
So tonight is a special show in that it's we're calling the Pre-IPCPR show. Obviously, last year at IPCPR, Blessed Leaf was simply just a thought, just a topic of discussion that was being batted about like a kitten with a ball of yarn. It hadn't even come to fruition yet. And just a little pat. So this year we get to actually have a pre-IPCPR show and talk to you guys about the stuff that's been that we're coming out with at the show, because people have been DMing us, and it's funny because we posted a picture of the Tantrum PA, which we'll get talking about, that we're launching at the show and everything, and I posted a picture we just got today from the factory. They're loading the boxes, and I posted up on our social media stuff. Front of the box, 6.5 by 44, and even still, someone had to comment and ask me, "What size is it?"
What size?
It's awesome. That's awesome that happened. So,
dude, it's legitly awesome. That's all I have to say.
It is legitly awesome.
Legitly awesome.
So the other thing is
you know what? There ain't nothing like being totally on the game and having your cigars loaded like literally a week before the show. I mean, dude, that's just, we are on it. That's all I gotta say. We are on it like doggone it. And might I say, I like your cabba hat.
Do you like that?
I like your cabba hat. I like it. Dude, it looks like you're a little shaved up. You're a little shaved. You got a little trimmy trim going on there. Got a cabba hat.
I shaved yesterday. I shaved this part and this part. Not so much here or here. I'm just kind of going bushy, like, I don't know if I'm Amish or Arab. That's what that look I'm going for. I might turn
for somebody with experience of spending a lot of time over there, you definitely ain't going Arab. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to just be inclusive and tolerant and big group hug to everybody out, every ethnicity. Oh, we love everybody. See, it keeps everybody happy. I don't want anybody to think I'm trying to talk bad about them. God loves everybody, and so do I. I got some great friends that are Arabic that live over there. I mean, awesome relationships. I'll tell you what I'm racist against. I'm racist against stupid in any color, or clear, or rainbow. I don't care, man.
That's right.
Character. That's what counts. Anyway, I don't know how we got off on that.
Yeah. We're still you know what? I got a big announcement to make. I got an announcement to make.
Make it.
Look it. I'm making it here right now. Look it. Because you haven't got to the deets, I'll go ahead and get to the deets. But if you can see right there, hey, I broke the 2,000 mark, 2001, right there. 2001.
Look at ya.
Look at me. Just a little something. Just a little. Just ain't nothing but just a beard and a cigar right there up on Twitter, and I broke 2,000 followers.
Oh, God bless. No, that's great, dude. Congratulations.
Like literally just before the show, it went ping ping, and I was like, "Oh, dude, I just broke like 2,000 followers." I guess you're supposed to be excited about that because people tell me, "Oh yeah, wait till you break 2,000 followers." Well, I just did, and I mean, it's
And
kind
you're
of
like,
like when your grandmother would ask you, on your birthday, like, "Do you feel older?" And I'd be like, "Oh, no, I feel kind of the same way that I did when I was driving over to your house, Nana. I mean, still, I don't feel."
you called her Nana. That's good.
I mean, come on,
Nanas.
you know.
Yeah, no, for reals. But no, congratulations on breaking the 2,000 mark. That's good. Um, and you're probably wondering why we're wearing these hats. You know what? We didn't plan it; it just happened. That's just the Lord's doing. But I needed to wear this, man. My kids are getting all jiggy with it. I got this at the Walmart's for like $9, and I needed to use it, so I'm wearing it.
I tell you what,
It's a special show.
you got to you got to respect the kids. When the kids pick you out a hat, it's kind of
Come
like
out.
when my daughter picked out a T-shirt, okay, and it had these like silver birds like flying around, and she's like, "Daddy, I bought this T-shirt for you." I mean, you got to wear it, man. You got to wear it
Yeah.
because nothing but just innocent and love bought that Cabot hat. And so the reason I keep
Oh
calling
no,
it
my
Cabot
money about the Cabot
is,
hat.
yeah, the reason I call it the Cabot hat is because what y'all don't know is Kyle's youngest. That's how she says cowboy hat. Give me back my Cabot hat. And so
Cabot hat.
that's why
Funny.
it is, it's Cabot hat. So
It's a
Kyle's
thing now.
wearing his Cabot hat. Yeah.
And Chris got on it. He was wearing his Cabot hat, but not the one he's usually used to wearing. So that was fun. So it's a special show. Special hat, special show. That's how I look at it. And
That's right.
yeah, so what we want to do is kind of make this week's episode, this week's gathering, a time where we kind of give a testimonial, kind of reflect back on the last year, first part of this year, because IPCPR is kind of like it's the sun for the cigar industry. Everything revolves around IPCPR. So, the cigar calendar, I mean, it's IPCPR. That's where it starts and that's where it freaking ends. And that's just the way that it works. So anyway, we just thought it would be a nice point of demarcation to kind of reflect back and see what God's done, because it's been a whirlwind, dude. That's how I feel.
Yeah. It definitely
It's
has, but
crazy.
it was funny when you were talking about, that the IPCPR is like the sun, and everything revolves around it. I mean, dude, our industry is completely biblical. Because when you stop and you think about it, I mean, right? I mean, that's what the Lord did with the feasts and the seasons and the sun and the moon and everything else. It's like it's a time that doesn't need to have a man calendar. So, I mean, I guess it's just another proof positive that cigars are of the Lord.
I can go with that.
Just saying.
I can definitely go with that. Keep going.
So what we need to do is we need to find out, are there any feasts that are in the month of July
They're
that
not.
revolve around
actually the big
cigars?
window. Oh,
It's the big window, but there ain't nothing, all right? There ain't nothing that says you just can't spontaneously, submit an offering, a burnt offering perhaps, unto the Lord
I agree.
with an aroma that is pleasing. I'm just saying, I mean, we've talked before about how the innocence, how our children, have, while they're out there playing and everything else, they're like, Daddy, 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 let me show you this. They just spontaneously built an altar. So,
Yeah.
hey, maybe that's what July is meant for. Maybe it was left open for a window of the cigar industry. Might be a stretch.
Hey,
Get a little theological on you, but hey.
that's fine. We can do that. We're blessed.
This is coming from a man who's gone international. I've gone all the way to Shreveport, all right? And I'm just saying, you can have that.
That's right. Hey, I'll go with that. So we're not having a special holiday today, and I guess all the IPCPR. So that works for me. But
No,
yeah.
it really has been a whirlwind, dude. And I tell you what, I know you and I were talking about this earlier today, but the Lord's grace and favor and mercy and joy and jubilance has been, I mean, he has just been with us in ways that I don't think you and I could have ever imagined. I mean, definitely a lot of, dreams have come true, a lot of prophetic words and words spoken over us have come true. We've seen some great friends in the industry just be blessed with miracles. Our great friend Kip Fisher, heard very clearly from the Lord and the calling for him and his family. That's awesome. Our great friend, Hector Martinez, he, blessed with another child.
What's his last name? I don't know. I don't know if I say it Marquez or Marquez because it's.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Marquez.
Is it Marquez or Marquez? Hey, QU.
Yeah. So our good friend Hector, all right, who also is a man of the beard.
Just Hector.
He's recently just blessed with a wonderful child, and so that's awesome. I mean, having the tantrum last year, take the consensus. That was just another blessing, man. I mean, it's like you said, dude. We definitely have had a year that has just come out. I mean, there's definitely been some challenges, and there's been some hurdles, and there's been some sharp edges ground down off of us. But man, I tell you, you can't help but acknowledge the Lord's favor from this past year, bro. Definitely can't.
That's fact. That's a fact. And before we get too far into everything, I just want to let everybody know we are going to go ahead and I'm going to actually light up and smoke. We're going to talk about the cigars, and I actually have a Tantrum PA, or the new cigar we're launching here. And if you watched us on Cigar Chat yesterday, I said that I was smoking the last one that I had, and then you're like, oh, you liar, you're smoking another one. Well, here's the deal. The last one I had yesterday was the last cigar I had out of the first batch from when we actually did the blending session. This is a sample from when they first rolled the production that we also checked to make sure that it's the same. That kind of thing. Quality control. So that's what this is. And you know what? Tastes phenomenal. So, as those cigars ship, if you go back to actually the Ezra Zion Instagram account and Twitter and Facebook, pushes it everywhere. You can see the picture of that and see those being loaded. But some of those boxes, they get shipped directly out to us so that we can, one last time, before they ever see the light of day, we check them again. One last check. Yep. Just to make sure someone didn't drop them in the toilet and then put them in there or whatever.
Yep. Well, I mean, and that's one of the things that's, the great things about our industry and about what we do is not only does it make for a great excuse to smoke some great cigars. I mean, we smoked a lot of bad ones during the blending process, but once you actually have that blending, you're going through the process, quality controlling the first batch, the first run, midday runs, daily runs during the production process as well, but then also during the aging process, before shipment, after shipment. I mean, let's face it, these things, and we've seen it happen to some brothers in the industry that during transit, diesel has spilt on these things. Water, cigars being left out to the rain on the tarmac in Nicaragua and being shipped up, and then they show up here in the United States. They open it up, and they got banana trees growing out of the box. I mean, there's been some gnarly stuff that has happened, but every step of the way you have to do that, man. And it's a great excuse to just sit there and just go, get us smoking another one, get us smoking another one. So.
Mm-hmm. So.
It's been awesome.
First moment of this year, we launched the FHK. So we're just going to kind of walk through the year. Launched the FHK.
Right there.
Yeah, Chris has one. I smoked on mine, so he'll have to show. And our whole point in talking about this and going through the cigars is not to sit here and try to pitch you our cigars. They're freaking good. I'll pitch you everywhere else, but we really want to give a testimony about this because this is our livelihood. This is what we do for work. This is a big part of how we spend the hours in our day. So the success of it is a big deal to us, just as dudes, just to, and all that stuff. So it's weird when you mute yourself, dude. It gets so quiet. I didn't realize how freaking loud your office was.
Hey,
it's so loud.
Don't get crazy, man. My little audio button isn't going on. What are you hearing? Are you hearing some? I heard a crazy noise going on.
You're good. But with FHK, and we'll just kind of give you some behind the scenes kind of stuff that we could talk about now because it's don't want to get their feelings hurt because we're out of the moment or whatever. But it was funny. It was funny to us because in the last few days. The last few days of last year. What are you doing, dude? Okay, so we had, I mean, we obviously, you got to ship the cigars up, and they're in the warehouse. They're here already. They're whatever. Before you ever launch, you can't launch a cigar without the product being, in your possession or whatever. So the cigars are already here, and we're trying to figure out a time to put out a press release. And you want to time these things right, so that you don't put out a press release and nobody sees it. Like you wouldn't post a press release or send out a tweet at like 1 in the morning. People just aren't going to be up to see it, kind of thing. So, what day do you post it? When do you post? Do you post it on a holiday? Do you not post it on a holiday? Are they watching? Or people not? You want to get the maximum eyeballs you can, obviously. And so as we were talking about this, I was like, oh, dude, why don't we just make this like the first cigar released out of the entire year, because we can set when it officially releases. And I was like, let's just make it for stinking the moment that ball in Times Square freaking touches down and goes 2014. That's when it officially releases. So we put out this press release, and it's going to release at 12 midnight, New Year's Day, first cigar released in 2014. I was like, that'll be the shtick, right? That it's the first cigar released in the whole year. Dude, I didn't realize how much that would tweak people.
Yeah. People got all bent out of shape about it, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so it was pretty funny. We had some of the people on our side and the sales staff and stuff are like, whoa, how you can't release a cigar without giving us the heads up. You can't, you can't release a cigar in the middle of the night. You can't. And I'm like, who's gonna get it? There's no. Was a retailer gonna call you at 3 a.m. and be like, I just got done knocking down a whole bunch of champagne, and I just saw this press release, because you know how I troll cigar news sites, the wee hours of the morning, and I need to put an order for this FHK. Now, why didn't I know? It's just kind of funny. But it was that. It was other people in the industry being like, well, how come they get to release the first cigar of the year and nobody else can? Like, are we serious here? Dude, it's just
call it wisdom of the Lord. I personally like the story from our local tobacconist that had a call from one of his customers saying, are we supposed to get in line at 12 midnight? And they responded with, if you're in line at 12 midnight, you're going to wait until 9 a.m. the next day.
Yeah, we literally. And that's the part we didn't want to go loud and proud, because we didn't want to make anybody feel bad or stupid. No, that's not our intent. But literally, we had people being like, do we need to line up at cigar shops? They thought it was like a thing that we had coordinated this whole like midnight launch, like we're launching an iPhone or something. And I'm like, dude, if we get to that point where we could do that, that's pretty legit. That's awesome. We're not there yet. This is just a gimmick just for, frankly, for S&G, awesome, just because it was like, why not? But that's the Ezra Zion Nation, dude. Willing to go and line up in the middle of the night to get the new Ezra cigar. God bless you. God bless you. So that's the story kind of when we launched it. Chris, I don't know if you want to talk about the reception we've got, some cool things from that stuff. It's been a good seller for us as far as the price point's lower. So
yeah, well, like you said, it's the first cigar that Ezra Zion put out that's under the $10 price point, and we were able to do some great negotiations. And as time goes on, it was told from to us in the very beginning that you have to kind of pay for your education when you first come into this industry. And quite honestly, I understand that. I understand when you're new and you approach certain tobacco sellers and factories, and when you want the best of the best, they're going to charge you the best of the best for the premium cigars, or excuse me, for the premium tobacco. But as we continue to cultivate relationships and as we continue to prove ourselves in the industry, we've also been very blessed and very fortunate to be able to get some reduction in some of those costs. And rather than just, we just charge this much anyway and we're going to keep it at that much, we're passing that along. And it was the first cigar that was under $10, for the entire line. And that's great. And it's been received very well. It's a great cigar that pays tribute to both your father and my father. So on a personal note, it's awesome as far as that goes. But I believe that one of the other reasons why it's been so well received in the industry is it tends to be our sweetest, still full flavor, just like all the other cigars we have, but more definitely in that medium well house as far as strength goes. And so it probably opened up a little bit more of an audience to that cigar, because let's face it, our cigars tend to be a little bit higher in strength, and that may just not be in everybody's wheelhouse.
America.
So this was definitely a stretch for us to be able to make that happen. And there was a lot of firsts that was going on with that cigar. I mean, dude, that was the first time we went outside of Nicaragua for tobacco. And bro, scary, right? I mean, we're creatures of habit just like everybody else, and and just like the Lord teaches you, He loves you just the way you are, but too much to stay that way. You need to take that next step, and you need to get out of your comfort zone, and you need to keep advancing and moving forward. And so that's what we had to do. And so I think it's been well received. It's gotten great reviews, and I hope that anybody that has an opportunity to smoke it is enjoying it and is blessed by it. There you go.
Yeah. So what we did is basically we went and dipped our toe in the water of other tobaccos, which is Indonesian and Brazilian and Mexican San Andreas, which we used before in the Eminence. But anyway, that's just kind of but that was kind of a no-brainer. San Andreas. That's almost now become like a Nicaraguan leaf, de facto. It's like an honorary Nicaraguan leaf. That's how we look at it. At least the stuff that it's just that caliber of stuff. But we dipped our toe in the foreign non-Nicaraguan tobaccos, and then we scurried back over to Nica. And we just love Nicaraguan tobacco, dude. We did. I'm just like, oh, this is my happy place. This is my happy place. When I smoke this tobacco, I'm happy. I dig it over here. Okay. Whole lot of frogs before you find that prince, says Chris.
Whoa, why you gotta be like that, man? Why couldn't you use some analogy like, in the Holy of Holies, in the Sacramento, and the tent, and something? You gotta go to the frogs? You dork.
Dude, I'm pretty tired. It's been a long day. Still. The fact that I'm awake is amazing. So yeah, that was FHK, and that was a really cool project. That just so people know, we got to ask this question before. About because we had originally talked about doing MLK as an honor series to Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and didn't end up going that route, and so we changed our idea, which we had an idea to do eventually something to pay homage to fathers and lineage and that kind of thing. We couldn't call it, anything with actual father like my father or our fathers, because there's already a my father. You know what I mean? There's trademark.
You got to respect it.
You got to respect it, and I like their cigars a lot, and so I don't want them to be pissed off at me at all, because I want to continue to smoke them. Anyway, so that was FHK. We changed it. The idea, it was just an idea from MLK. It was a very easy transition. Chris had the idea to change that to FHK, and that was a very cool thing. So that was that cigar. That's all I can really think about it, other than my favorite Vitola in that has got to be the 44x7. I freaking love that one. They all smoke great. They all smoke real good. They got good ratings, good reviews. It's very outside what you think of as an Ezra Zion cigar, which we want to be familiar. We want to have a trademark, genre of kind of cigar style and everything else. But every once in a while, we want to throw you a little bit of a little head fake. Got to keep you on your toes, people. Keep you on your toes. Got to keep them guessing.
Keep them looking.
What are you gonna say?
No, exactly right, dude. You got to keep them. You got to keep them looking. You got to keep moving the ball down the field. Got to keep advancing.
Yeah. So that was that one, and then while we were doing that, and we already had in the hopper and plans and everything, coordinating with behind the scenes, there was discussions, and the Colonel, Gary Griffith, we talks with him. And then the bros that run Cigar Federation and now own Cigar Federation, one of them does, Logan,
That's right.
About doing it a cigar specific with the Cigar Federation branding on it, which I have here. Y'all have seen, I'm sure. But it became the Collective. And, that was a really fun project, both on the tobacco side of it and also just on the kind of the conceptual side of it, what we wanted to do with this, because of the delivery model to the smoker was not your traditional route.
Right.
I'll let you talk a little bit. I don't want to just keep rambling on and on, Chris. We just kind of ping pong back and forth.
And again, I mean, you've heard it from us before. You'll hear it from us tons of times. This isn't a show about cigars with a little bit of Jesus. This is a show that is, all Jesus and a little bit of cigars. And, here again, it came to Kyle in a vision and in a dream of creating a cigar for the new media revolution, quite frankly, that's going on in our industry right now. We have so many friends. I mean, it's just so many friends in the industry that are involved with new media. Kit, Brian Berman. I mean, Logan and Rob and all the Dustin and everybody, Charlie and Brooke. All these people in the new media evolution of the cigar industry. We truly do believe that we're in a second cigar boom, if you will. You had your cigar aficionado boom in the 80s that all of a sudden this
90s,
resurgence
90s,
of cigars,
90s.
Excuse me, in the 90s, the resurgence of cigars that really came out and really became, more than just your grandfather's pastime. And today, with the advent of these things, people can find out anything and everything about you, about your product, about your cigars and everything else. And so when Kyle pitched this idea that, man, I think it'd be awesome that if we made a cigar that paid tribute to the new media that is really out there, and just include all these people, not just being, specific to any just one, but just include all these people. And so we made a huge effort to reach out to as many bloggers and as many friends in the industry that are doing new media, from the small bloggers to the large guys, that we've mentioned before, and just really try to include them. And just as a way, the cigar is phenomenal, absolutely. But as a way to just say thank you again for an opportunity that, quite frankly, helped position us into the industry. Here again, giving all credit where credit is due and honor where honor is due. I take us all the way back to the very beginning when Kyle came to me and he said, "Bro, I think I had a word." And just like, "Oh, dude, lay it on me." He goes, "Dude, I think we're supposed to make cigars." And from that, just walking in humility and walking in lockstep with the Lord. Is this a door that's open? Is this a path that's open? Well, we started with Cigar Federation. We started in a social media outlet. We started reviewing cigars. We started doing all that stuff, and then very quickly realized that while we were entertaining, perhaps, we weren't really that good. I mean, let's just be frank about it. That's the reason why we're no longer owning Cigar Federation. There are other people that
I was freaking great, dude. I was freaking
okay. I'm the one that is keeping it real, and you're the one that's going to have to seek forgiveness. That's between you and the Lord. I'm just saying that right there. All joking aside, continuing down that path of just walking in humility and with the Lord, and create cigars. That's where it was. And so anyway, bringing that full circle back to the collective, it was a way that we could just really. It was another first, to my knowledge. Nothing like that has ever been done before. Nothing to the scale of having the launch HERF with all these people in the industry. The invitations that were sent out, the cigars that were sent out, those that were on the launch HERF, those that were not on the launch HERF, but super encouraging and thankful for coming up with this kind of cigar. Kyle can talk about the blends, but it's just, it's just another one of those things that, seeking the Lord's heart and seeking the Lord's voice, either by audio or by visual, i.e. dreams, and just saying, man, this sounds crazy, but this is what I believe the Lord told me, and so how are we going to figure this out? He's already told us, and we've talked about this many times, a great pastor told us once that, you profess the end from the beginning, and the way that Kyle was that pastor that was preaching that one, but the way that he really broke it down to me and explained it to me was, look at the book. I mean, look at the Bible, right? Look at the words that Jesus spoke. He was speaking about the end while he was with us. He was speaking about that. We already know the victory is done. The seal has been signed. I mean, grace has been given. There is no further work. So we already know the victory, right? We know the end now.
Yep.
And so here again, I know I'm kind of just went off on a little preaching tangent there, but anyway, at the end of the day, preaching the end from the beginning and then walking in step in humility with the Lord brought us into the collective, and that was great. And so I'll kind of pipe down and let you talk about the blend, because I know that's a special blend for you, and it was pretty legit to sit there and watch you kind of come to that revelation when you locked in on this thing. Yeah. He got all googly-eyed. He was crying. He was
I was not crying, dude.
He was just.
Well, here's the thing about us, and not only just to talk about the cigar stuff, but we wanted to just, if we're sitting around hanging at a cigar shop, which I recently got a chance to do with a Blessed Leaf member in person, smoke a couple cigars, and just kind of just share as bros. We love that. And so that's what we kind of wanted this to be, but a little behind the scenes kind of stuff. On the spiritual side, when we go travel anywhere to go blend or whatever, we pray before we start. We're just like, Lord, help us. This is work, and just like you would ask for help, or from my background, if you're going to go lead worship at a church, and for the service, or you're going to preach, you're going to minister the word, you ask for God's blessing and His anointing, His assistance, and it's the same thing, that help from the Lord is available for whatever you do. Anything you do, anything you put your hand to, you do it as unto the Lord, and you do it with excellence and everything else. So that's what we really want to do, because what we don't want is to have a those Ezra guys, they're Christian dudes and their cigars suck. They're just, to us, that's a poor witness. And you might think they suck because you don't like them. But at the very least, I want you to be like, these guys they're doing the best with what they have to work with. Okay, that's what we're trying to do. And it might not be very much, like Chris says. You go to war with the army you've got, not the army that you wish you had. So whatever skill level we have, or whatever tobaccos there are, we try to make the best of it. But we ask for the Lord to help us, and not just when we go blend, we go on trips, but if we go to an event, we're praying all the time. Lord, let us have opportunities to share your word and to minister and to just be a light in the dark and to just be real with people about what it looks like for a person, for a dude, to know God and to live for God and to love God and everything else, and how not fake that is, and is supposed to be how a completed person who's at peace with God, what they're like, you know what I mean, and hopefully we do that, and that's the opportunity we want to have. If we can pray with somebody, we're stoked on that. We can witness to somebody, we're stoked on that. A lot of people come up and ask us about our logos, or the name of the company, or the name of a blend, or we heard this about your background, or just whatever. We're just stoked on all that. We really consider ourselves to be like tobacco missionaries, and everybody that's watching, you should too. If you work at a grocery store, you're a grocery store missionary.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It's any place where you find yourself, on the job or just out in the marketplace or hanging out with your family. Immediate or extended or whatever, you are a minister of the gospel wherever you go. So that's really what we want to do. I say all that to say, when we went into blend and what eventually became the collective, that's a blend that we had that was gonna be an Ezra Zion release. It was that good. It was just like, oh my goodness, this is gonna be, it's a Maduro, but it acts like a Corojo, and everybody knows how freaking crazy we are about Corojo. That's why Chris is the Corojo cowboy, because he's just all woo, 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 or whatever he does over there. It's flavorful tobacco. It's fragrant tobacco. It's gorgeous tobacco. I mean, the sheen and the shimmer and and I'm gonna say it, just the sexiness of that leaf. It just looks awesome. So it looks good in a rosado. It looks good in a claro. It looks good, dark. It looks good at golden brown. It's just gorgeous. You know what I mean? So we love that stuff. So with the collective, this actually does have a San Andreas wrapper on it, but it acts like a Corojo, and that's what.
That's right.
Excuse me. That's what freaked us out so much. And it goes through a special process at the factory that makes it like that. And it's not flavored, or it's not like someone's putting some weird chemical on it. It's just a certain way that it's left to age, I guess, to ferment, to process. I'm trying to be vague on purpose. So, this is a cigar that, to us was a unique thing. This was another head fake. This is not, and I use the music analogy a lot for cigars. This is not like a band that all their songs sound the same. Like if you listen to Aerosmith. Aerosmith's my favorite band. Okay, America. There's an Aerosmith groove, it's like, dude, that's Aerosmith. That's Steven Tyler's voice. That's Joe Perry on the guitar. Constantly changing. They're constantly new. They're constantly fresh and relevant. At least that's my perspective. If you don't like Aerosmith, then you need to get right with God. But that's what we want. We want it to be familiar but different. So this has got some great Ezra-esque qualities to it, and so on the tobacco side, it was very fun to blend. And we were kicking around the idea. I was like, we have several blends that are possibilities. We have one, or we have some that are definite Ezra releases and stuff, or that we think, and some of those have changed. But let's use this as a collective, because we wanted it. To us, that was the #1 blend that we had at the time, and that, I mean, literally, if we hadn't come out with it, this would have been released at the show this year. I mean, that was the plan, and we wanted to just say, let's give our best in this, even though it doesn't say Ezra Zion across it, and it doesn't have our logo, and and all that stuff. Let's just serve the best we can serve, and bless the people the best that we possibly can. Because truly, when we say that the idea behind it was to honor new media, we meant it. We meant it, and we mean it. Because tongue tied. We meant it in my cabin hat. Because that's really what has afforded us the opportunity in the industry to be able to share our message so quickly, to get people aware that we even exist quickly, to interact with the people who are out smoking our cigars. That's really, really cool to us, that technology exists, and that medium of communication is there. And so, it's not only just, Twitter is there and Instagram is there, but there's a lot of legit people that are writing and blogging and new media, reviewing cigars and bringing news and stuff like that. And it's a culture unto itself, and to us, it's a very, very important piece of the whole cigar ethos that's out there. So it's not just a line of BS for marketing sake or whatever. I mean, it really means something to us. So that's why on the we put a QR code on the back, so you can scan it and watch a video, and anything we could do to enhance the social media, new media factor, and to highlight that dynamic, we wanted to put on the packaging of that cigar. So it's pretty legit.
Yeah, it is. You kind of worked yourself up into a lather there, man. You got to kind of catch your breath there for a second, man.
I do. I need to just calm down. My cigar is going out, dude. So one other thing too.
Don't let your
I got this up on my wall right here. I look at this every day while I work. But this is the. I still show QVC right now, dude, but I don't care. This is a card. If you buy a 5-pack, the cigar or whatever, we had cards printed as QR code and all this stuff. But this is something we wanted in there because we wanted to push a message. With the collective. What we didn't want people to start thinking that it was some sort of collectivism or socialism, or we were pushing some sort of status type agenda. We're the exact opposite of that crap. We think that's really unbiblical. Biblical economics is private property rights and free market capitalism, where you reap what you sow. You don't get to reap what other people sow, and you don't get to reap if you don't sow. That's kind of how it works. We're the whole if you don't work, you don't eat kind of culture, that kind of thing. So anyway, that was a big concern to me when we talked about that, because I didn't want anybody to mistake like these Ezra guys are sticking closet communists. No, we're not. Dude, people out there they misconstrue. You can't let it misconstrue. So we had these printed up, and this is actually, you get this card if you buy it, or this is actually like the actual. I don't even know if I do have a box. I have a box on the floor. I didn't realize it was there. Convenient, but it's actually the box sticker too, which is cool and all that stuff. But it basically is a little poem, if you will, in bust roll art motif, which is cool. But it says, individuals born free, living free, united by ideal, an innovation bond, driven by the unseen hand to create what has never been. Destiny has called us to this hour. Providence has ordained. And to me, that was a very, very artistic way of saying, we're all bros and we all love each other and we're all in this together, but it's because we're choosing to be, because we believe that the unseen hand, which if you're familiar with capitalism, is the driving force of the market, and also providence that drives us to do what we do. But in that, we're born free, we're living free, but we're united by an ideal. We're not forced into some sort of socialist cesspool of crap. We love our neighbor as ourselves. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure I threw that in there. In case anybody's wondering, where did that come from? That was why that's on there with the collective. That's just our kind of antidote in case anybody thought we were getting a little sideways.
A little hat tip. That's all it is.
Little,
Just a little hat tip.
Mm-hmm.
A little howdy, miss. There you go.
So the next cigar we came out with,
Respect.
I'll let Chris take the lead on this because I've been flapping myself for too long. But I'll hold it up and you can talk. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows.
Who doesn't know about it? I mean,
Bam!
you know, here again, we've talked so much about this and the awesomeness that has just been coming around with this cigar. And you know, here again, like Kyle said, the opportunity that we have with new media, having blessedleaf.com, having the social site, having the Twitter, the Instagram, all that stuff, being able to connect with people, you know, not only in the continental United States but outside the borders, and being able to minister to those that are frontline warriors in the ministry field, and being able to minister in just a complete, like y'all know, all right, you guys have heard it, you know, from us before. I mean, obviously we pray before we work, we pray before big decisions, we pray before we blend, we pray before the factory, we pray over the factory, we pray over the field, we pray over the soil.
Before we
just, I mean,
we pray.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You know, before you eat, you pray, right? But we're prayers, and I'm fortunate enough to be yoked equally with, I guess you could say unequally, because Carrie, my wife, is just, I mean, she's phenomenal, and she's a magnificent prayer warrior. But, you know, here again, being able to come into this industry and to create a cigar that is just so overtly in your face, you can't help but just get Jesus all up over you when you have that cigar. I mean, from the band, from the artwork that Kyle designed, from the crown, you know, the King of Kings, the Trinity leaf, the stars, the name. I mean, it just exudes the Lord 10 ways to Sunday.
Yep.
And quite honestly, I mean, I'm just saying this with complete humility, I think it just happens to be one of the best tracks ever. I concur. I mean, it just is awesome. You know, we've heard testimonies from Spencer McGee. You know, being able to have, you know, while he's having a Bible study in a coffee house, and have a Satanist, like full blown known Satanist. I mean, in the garb, in the style, and self-professing and everything else, come to one of his Bible studies and smoke a blessed. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and
that
the whole
was the
thing
nexus.
was a blessed leaf. That's legit.
It was a blessed leaf cigar, right? That sat there, and in his mind, he just couldn't make 2 and 2 come up and equal 4, because he was like, this guy's telling about Jesus, he's telling me about God, he's talking out of the Bible, he's speaking the word, and he's smoking a cigar. How can you do that? Because society has told me that is not right, that you cannot enjoy cigars and still be a passionate Christ follower. And dude, Spencer McGee, total awesome guy, total awesome warrior for the Lord, soldier in the Lord's army, just sits there and, again, in humility, hey bro, would you care to join us? Would you like a cigar? Gives him a cigar. Well, maybe I'll come back. Yeah, come back. We're here every week. Next week, what happens? Ta-da! Here he is. Coming in, sitting down, smoking, right? And he's smoking what? He's smoking one of the most awesome tracks ever invented. Ever. And I say that with all humility, because again, we were able to sit there and just become so overt with our belief, with our love, and our passion for the Lord, and it was well received. I mean, you know, there's going to be haters, and you know, we get bashed. You know, we get bashed when that cigar got reviewed. We got bashed when that cigar got launched. We got bashed on the website. We get bashed for, you know, professing our beliefs. But at the end of the day, free will, ladies and gentlemen. There was one person that sat there and says, you can't put Jesus on my cigar. And I said, well, you know, with all due respect, sir, it's not your cigar. It's my cigar until you purchase it. And you don't have to purchase it, and that's okay. I mean, you don't have to. If you don't believe in that, then step aside. You can purchase the next cigar that works with you. I mean, that's the great thing. And then he just kind of like, but I gave him a cigar. There you go.
You're nicer than me, dude. I'd have given him like, I'd be like, hey, here's the Swisher Sweet. Go away.
There you go. He's just so sweet. So anyway, but it was awesome, and you know, here again, I mean, having some great people in this past year on the program. You know, Charlie. I mean, we've just had some phenomenal people in the industry that have reached out to us and said, man, we really appreciate what you guys are doing. You know, we're believers. We're a family of believers. We're a company of believers, and that's awesome. You know, and so
yeah,
I can just go on and on and on and on and on. I mean, we've all heard a lot of this about that cigar. You know, being in the factory, I'll just keep going. Being
just
in
keep
the factory,
going, dude. It's all good. I'm getting excited all just hearing about it.
And talking to the factory workers and the rollers and the bunchers and the people that are sorting the tobaccos about what we're doing and why we're doing it there and how we feel so honored and so blessed to have them a part of the process. And you can literally see their eyes like click and like light up and change because they're like, wait a minute, you know, like these guys, they sound for real. I mean, they sound like this is the real deal, and we just don't. You know, it is. And you know, as much as it's your project, you have to remember the project came from the Lord, and the idea came from the Lord. You know, it's not our project; it's His project. And so, you know, it's just it's awesome, man. I mean, you know, yet again, it's just another one of the great things that happened in this past year that. You know, well received, well honored, well blessed. You know, and that's all I just say it all the time. We're just blessed to be a part of it. You know, and I'm blessed to be a part of this. You know, that's what it is.
For sure. Yeah, and just, you know, you got to understand, everybody, the reason we're even, you know, talking about all this stuff, we're bragging on the Lord. You know, like Paul said, if I'm going to boast in the Lord, and I will brag all day long on our God, right. Because our God is the real God, our God's the living God, our God is the best God. And, you know, all the other gods are just a fraud, as my daughter so eloquently put one time. One other quick little on the folklore note with the blessed leaf, which I do know this box was here. People might not realize it or not, but hidden in this logo right here is a star. I don't know if people ever realize that, but that's a hat tip to the great state of Texas, where we're from. But we put a little star in the logo just to let everybody know, what up? So
there you go. Just right there.
Just right there. But no, this is a project that, I mean, it's cool. Like Chris was saying, when the folks that are sitting there rolling the cigar, when they hear what it's about, and they're like, I'm making this for Dios, I'm making this for God. It's a God cigar. There's a purpose to this. There's a meaning that I'm actually, you know, doing something good for the Lord when I'm making this. And it's like, yeah, like that's a cool thing to see, you know, that purposefulness come into what they're doing. And you know, it's a cool thing to just be involved in, man. I mean, I think of all the jobs we could do, and it's just like, dude, we get to do this. It's awesome, man. So awesome, dude. It's so awesome. Yeah, I mean, we talked a lot about Kairos, and it continues to get good reviews. But haters are going to hate, and you know what? We just love them anyway. We just bless everybody. We bless those who curse us, and we just say God bless, and you know, it's all good. So the one we have coming out the show is this guy, the Tantrum PA, the passive aggressive. 6.5 by 44 is a different blend. A lot of people ask us, so we post today, is it the same blend? It's a different blend. The tobacco's in the original Tantrum, limited edition. So it's very Tantrum-esque. Right, it's very Tantrum-esque, but it is it's his own thing, man, and it's so good. I mean, here I know this is what's going to happen. People are going to smoke this, and they're going to judge it against the original Tantrum. And we could have named this cigar, you know, Uncle Bob, yeah, or whatever. And it would stand on its own, and they'd be like, oh, it's so great, it's so good. But because we call it Tantrum, you know, PA, then, you know, I know that there's going to be that whole association thing, and people are going to judge it by the original one. And I get that. It's not like the original ones, but you got to understand. It's like its cousin. It's got some qualities in there, some of those caramely, sweet qualities in it. But it's a different animal altogether. But it stands on its own. It's a freaking great cigar. But I'm excited about this launch. It's funny though, because every cigar since we first came out with our very first cigar, I get so wee-weed up about the launch. I am freaked out. I don't freak out, but I'm just like, I want people to like it so much because I like it and Chris likes it. We're really excited about it. I'm just like, I hope they taste what we taste. I hope they can, you know, pick up the flavors that we're picking up, and you know, I think it's there, and you know, we're really excited about it, and you know, I think we finally got somewhat of a good track record on judging what's good and what's not good. But dude, I just get all about it, And so I'm chilling right now. I'll feel a lot better after we get the samples, from the factory, and then I'll feel much better when we go to the show and people. Those retailers start smoking it. See, you can't fool a retailer's palate because they smoke everything. So
Right.
when retailers come by and and visit with us, and they're so it's wonderful to hang out with the retailers. It's our one time to actually connect with people that we only get to see once a year. It's really, really cool on that level. But when they smoke the cigar and they're like, "Oh man, this is great, Ezra Zion, another home run," I'm just like, "Yes!" I knew it all along. But there was still that whole, we got to deliver, we got to deliver, we got to deliver. We're just pushing. I never feel like, oh, let's just rest back on our laurels. Yeah, we'll just phone it in, dude. I'm always like, oh, we still have something to prove. We still got to bring our A game. We can never let up. We can never give in. We're just like, take some stinking pills or something. But that's how I feel about it. It's just important.
No, it absolutely is, dude. And we're getting to the point now that it's and I love you. I love you. I got nothing but respect and love for you.
Oh, here it comes.
But it's one of those things.
Like you say,
it's one of those. It's one of those things. God bless his pea-picking little heart. Kyle does tend to get a little wee-weed up about the situation, and right now everything is progressing perfectly. Right, our cigars are in the United States. They're getting loaded in the boxes, and so here's the deal. What really could have changed from what we experienced during the process in Nicaragua and everything else to now the United States, with the exception of a little bitty short transit time? Really nothing. But at the end of the day,
I know.
I also know that one of the reasons that he does, and I don't use the word worry because we are not worriers, we are not scared, we are not frightened. We use the word, Kyle does get a little wee-weed up. But it also is because, we got something to prove. I mean, let's face it. There's not too many people in this industry that do not know that we are Christ followers and we are just absolute passionate lovers of the Lord. And everything we do, right or wrong, gets judged. There's a duality of judging that goes on, not only as us as individuals, with our cigar company, but also as us as men of, being Christian men. And at the end of the day, we want to do right by the Lord.
Yeah.
Because we know there's no mistaking, ladies and gentlemen. We're not the sharpest tools in the shed. I mean, we're hard workers, and Kyle is certainly a lot more intelligent than I am. I'm certainly a lot better looking than he is. But at the end of the day, without the Lord, we'd just be a couple of buffoons that would just still be hanging out smoking 2 or 3 times a week. If we did not have the anointing and the blessing and the favor and the mercy and the grace that has been bestowed upon us by the Most High, dude, we'd just be a sack of taters.
Yeah.
So I fully say that, saying that I know one of the reasons why he does get so wee-weed up is because he wants to honor the Lord in everything he does, because the Lord is worthy of said honor. And I get it. And I'm right there alongside you. But I love going through the process with you because, ladies and gentlemen, you don't even know. Literally, the guy is going to take like 15 potty breaks while he's smoking the first cigar in the United States, out of the box.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen again at day 1 at IPCPR, and it's going to happen again just before the retailers come around. And when that first retailer comes by and gives them a little hat tip, a little nod, hey, well done, y'all did it again, great job, whatever the case is, when that first review comes out, then it'll just be like, oh, all right, Lord, it's all you. I knew it all along. Totally knew it. Totally had it.
Oh yeah, dude. It's such a finicky product. It's like coffee if you're a coffee drinker. At any step of that coffee bean's life, you can jack it up. I mean, if you pick it wrong or whatever, if it doesn't get stored right when it's green in the big burlap sacks, it gets too moist, it'll mold, and then if you don't roast it right, it's ruined. And then if you don't grind it just right, if you're making an espresso or you're making a drip pot or you're making a French press, you got to get the right grind. If you mess with the grind, it's ruined. And if the water's not hot enough or too hot, it's ruined. Or if you put sugar in it, it's ruined. It's ruined. There's just a lot of ways to mess it up, and I'm just like, I just want to take every step. I just want to be so careful. Okay, kids, here. Okay, smoke it. Okay. No. You're torching it too much. You're gonna burn the end. It tastes like charcoal. You didn't cut it right. You're using a daggum stupid punch. Guillotine that thing like a man. get the smoke in there. Okay, now you're not smoking it through your nose. You got to smoke. I'm just like, dude, I'm like, do it right. I do.
Dude, seriously, he does do all that stuff, and watching him do the pee-pee dance is hilarious.
I mean, seriously, we'll go to events sometimes, and someone's sitting there talking to go, yeah, man, I come in here, I smoke cigars every day, and I love those Rocky Tail edges, and then I'm just thinking, oh, no. And it's like, yeah, and they get up there, and they put that lighter, and they just torch it, just like for, till the thing is just on fire. It's, it's burned up to here. The whole end of the cigar is black. It's all ballooned up, and I'm just thinking, you just ruined it. And then they're smoking it like, well, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. $10. I don't know if it's a $10 cigar. And I'm like, well, it's a $12.50 cigar, and you just friggin' ruined it. But God bless you. God bless you. Yeah, I do get a little. But yeah, dude, I care about what happens to it, man. It's just care. I care about the person when they're smoking it. I want it to be good because I know what that moment's like, and you do too. Anybody that smokes knows. That actually knows what they're doing. When you get that cigar and you're just like, oh man, I didn't realize I was missing something until I smoked this, and this is what has been missing. That's what I want it to feel like.
Well, absolutely, and even beyond that, I mean, just respecting the fact that this man or woman that has labored with his or her hands to to his or her employer to be rewarded with their wages, and then take said wages and distribute that between family and between responsibilities, and when they have a disposable amount of income. I mean, everybody's disposable amount of income is limited. I don't care who you are in the world, it's limited.
Yeah.
And to sit there and then take your limited disposable income and say, I am going to, through a cigar shop, purchase this cigar on behalf of Ezra Zion and exchange my money for your goods, they deserve to have the best experience possible. Yeah. I mean, you can't sit there and just go, the name says it all, and so because I say the name, it's a $200 cigar. Well, right. If the $200 cigar is the absolute worst cigar in the world, you're nothing short of stealing from that person. Mm. And you want to make it fair, you want to make it equitable. We go again back to the Lord's commerce, the Lord's commerce system, and it needs to be fair. The scales need to be fair, and so. That's one of the reasons that we try to endeavor, and as we come across tobaccos that we're able to negotiate a little bit better deal, we try to pass that along. We try to push that down to the consumer and to the retailer, blessing everybody down and along the way. So,
yeah,
it's respecting the whole the whole system, if you will.
Exactly, and just like got brought up on Cigar Chat last night, if you want to be the greatest. You got to be the servant of all. That's what Jesus said, and
right.
That's applicable in any setting in the world, but especially in business. And we look at it like, look, number one, we want to be great. As men, we want to be great in business. We want to be great in our craft of making this product and everything else, and make it a great experience. Not just the product. The product is part of the overall experience. The packaging and the and the story and everything else, the inspiration behind it, that's all part of the experience. If we want to be great, which we do, we got to serve. And so we want to be great at service, great servants to the people that are out there. And just like Chris said, that starts at serving the people that are out there planting seed, rolling the cigar, and on up the chain to you good folks who light it up and smoke it and enjoy it. That's how we view it. And it's through that lens that we approach everything. And one of the reasons we're talking about that is not to toot our horn by any means at all, because we got a lot to learn, a long way to go. But we're endeavoring to do that, and we just hope that we can serve as a good godly example. We want to do that, just like Paul said. Follow me as I follow Christ. It shouldn't be that everybody you talk to is like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying. Well, there's some people who do know what they're. I think we do know what we're doing. It's real simple in the Bible, and then you do it, and then it works, and then you go, hey, look, I tasted and saw that the Lord was good. Follow me as I follow Christ, man. You just, make right decisions. Make decisions based on the Word. So, as far as, in our modern culture, it's, role model. And if we can at all inspire or, be a role model in that, man, I'm glad to do that. That's great. Yep. It's just being a testimony that people go, wow, that worked, and I want that same thing for me. So I'll just do what this guy did. Great. It's follow Christ.
That's right.
Do what he says. You know, that's what it's all about. So, it's been good,
Taste
and
of the
that's
Lord, and
and
we'll
we're
see that
only
He's good. Right.
we're only half a year in right now, dude. That was a half a year. That went by fast, dude.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're talking about. I guess I've been talking as if, we've been talking about the year since last IPCPR to this IPCPR. But you're right. I mean, it really has. It's only been half a year. I mean, the Lord's been good. And
Yeah.
one of the great things too is just, and I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but just finding the joy in the Lord and in what we're doing. Is it really doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're working in construction and you're toiling with, physically laboring with your hands, or you're laboring with your mind in a corporate setting, or like you were saying at a grocery store. It really doesn't matter. If you're a student, one of the things that we teach our children is just, be the best students possible with the joy of the Lord. Rejoice for the day the Lord has given, right? I mean, there's an opportunity to find the joy of the Lord, and then expose those who perhaps do not have the joy of the Lord to that joy. I mean, one of the things that was asked of me one time is by an unbeliever. It's just like, why are you so, like, why are you so into it? Why are you so, basically he was just saying, why are you so passionate about your belief and everything else? And I just told him, I said, you know what? Because I firmly believe that if you just had 1/16 of the joy of the Lord that has been given to me, to you, you would be just as excited. I mean, the joy of watching your children be born, nothing can compare to that. But still, nothing compares to the joy that the Lord gives you. I mean, when you seek after Him, and when you have your quiet time, and I'm a talker. I literally talk out loud with the Lord during my prayer time, and ask Him questions and seek His wisdom and seek His guidance, just as we are talking right now. And I can't help but coming out of that with joy. I mean, in worship, joy; in prayer, joy; in labor, joy; finding that joy. So I don't know why I got off on that, but joy in the Lord, y'all. Just enjoy it.
Shalom, y'all.
That's right.
Dude, we look like we should be making moonshine, dude.
It would be joyful in the Lord, I tell you what. It'd be
Yeah,
a
we
great
would.
offer.
I don't know how to make moonshine, so back off. Yeah, so I mean that's pretty much all we got. And we just kind of wanted to share our hearts and kind of tell some stories along the way for y'all out there, in case you're curious. But and just say that God's good, man, and looking forward to a good show. And also, just on a programming note, we will not be here for Blessed Leaf Life for the next 2 weeks because of IPCPR. We're flying out. Those of you who are in the biz, you got to fly out there early, and you do the show, and then you have to pack up all your stuff, and so you're there early and you leave late. So that encompasses the next 2 weeks. We will not have a forum to be able to come to you live, but we'll give you a post-show update, and I know it'll be good. It'll be fun.
That's right.
So
That's right.
good things.
Absolutely. And for those of you that do pray for the ministry and pray for Kyle and I, we sincerely appreciate that. Here again, we are just humble servants, and we hope that by having this opportunity to bring Jesus into this industry in such an overt way, that the reception that we've received so far just continues. Because let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, leave no stone unturned, leave no dark corner in the darkness. Bring light no matter where we go. And so we appreciate you all that do support us and by prayer and lift this ministry up. And we hope that there's more relationships to be made and more awesome followers of Christ, that we forge continuous relationships that we can bring on the show.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yep. Touchdown. Yeah, so on that note, we will go ahead and wrap everything up and just say we love you guys. We appreciate you guys. If you need to get in contact with us, you can via blessedleaf.com. And, hey, it's all good. Chris, dude, thanks for hanging and talking and sharing and just rocking that legit beard that now has a Twitter following.
Awesome.
I'll give him the deets
Awesome.
on that on our way out. Follow Blessed Leaf. It's at Blessed_Leaf. But also follow Chris's beard, which it's not us. It's some guy. We don't know who it is. It's not us.
I don't even know who it is. It is pretty. I gotta admit,
It's hilarious.
It's kind of weird that people would actually do that. But hey, if it blesses and touches somebody.
It's at Chris Kelly Beard. So follow at Chris Kelly Beard. That's an Ezra parody account, I guess is how you term it. But they're pretty stinking funny, dude. I gotta say. So I'm getting a kick out of it. So anyway, follow those guys, or who? It could be a girl. Follow that lady. Follow him, her, and just have fun with it. So we'll just say on that note again, God bless you guys, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
God bless. Thanks, y'all.